everyone. I'm Carey Pena, and this is Front Doors TV. We are here in our Inspired Media 360 studios today with Matt FritzMiller, who is the head of school from BASIS Chandler. Matt, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So BASIS is considered one of the best schools in the nation, despite being open enrollment and tuition free. What's the secret sauce?
You know, we have hardworking students. We have amazing teachers, very supportive organization, and a curriculum that is pretty top notch.
And Chandler is actually top rated.
Correct. We are the #1 charter school in the nation, the #1 high school in the country, and the #4 STEM school in the country.
What is the culture at BASIS?
You know, I really want, BASIS is known as being very STEM focused. We have a lot of math and science. My goal as head of school is to have a well-rounded student. So I don't want just robots that are good at math and science. I want students who have joy, who love coming to school, who love what they do, who are excited about activities, who have balance in their lives. So yes, I want them to be successful with their academics, but I also want them to find success outside of academics in their extracurriculars, in the things that they're passionate about outside of school.
How important do you think that is, particularly given what the kids have gone through for the last 2 years with COVID, with isolation, a lot of depression and anxiety? I think it is incredibly important to shine the light on things that give us joy.
I agree. And you know, what we saw in the shutdown when kids were not at school, they were at home, just in the conversations I had with students, there was that isolation and that loneliness and even that inability to get outside and move around. And so that's really what I look for with our clubs and activities, rebuilding those social skills, rebuilding that ability to move around, to be active. I always tell my students, you know, I want you to move around so you're oxygenating your brain. It will make you a better student, and it will make you happier.
And one of the goals that you have is to be able to allow all students, no matter what your socioeconomic background, to have the opportunity to enjoy BASIS. And that's why you wanted to tell folks about the tax credit opportunity.
Correct. Yeah, we are open enrollment. We don't, siphon kids off of the top. Anybody who applies, if we have room, they're able to join us. We do have room at most of our schools, and so parents can apply and see if there's an opening that works for their students. But we don't just have the elite students. We have students from all backgrounds. And one of my favorite stories, every year I have these graduates that really just worked through some difficult times. And a couple of years ago, we had a student who spent several years of her high school career homeless. And watching her fight through that, continue to come to school. The day that I got to give her her diploma, I got extremely choked up. It was very emotional because here's a student who, through any definition, could have quit any high school, and yet she fought through to graduate from one of the top high schools in the country.
Just touch on the Arizona tax credit so folks at home know if they wanted to allocate funds, you could do that with BASIS.
Yeah, so as a public charter school, we don't receive funds for any extracurricular activities. We actually don't have facilities for many of the things that we do. We don't have a swimming pool. We don't have sports fields. So we have to rent those things. And because we don't receive funding for it, that financial burden is on our families. The Arizona tax credit is a great opportunity to help offset some of those fees. You give money to a school instead of giving it to the state of Arizona. And we get to use it to offer scholarships to students for their extracurricular activities, to get new uniforms so that the families aren't paying that. And so it really brings down the cost of those extracurriculars so that our students can participate in the things that they do.
Yeah. Much like the young lady you were talking about who was homeless.
Yes.
So she's not left out of those activities.
Exactly. And our clubs and activities, they range everywhere from, a swim team, tennis team, basketball teams, volleyball teams. We've got clubs. We've got a Quidditch club, which has over 50 students in it. And they go out and fly around on broomsticks and play Quidditch, just like in Harry Potter. We've got chess clubs, speech and debate clubs. And so all of our tax credit donations go to help those clubs and activities.
And we have a special guest who's going to be coming on with us in just 1 second. But before we wrap things up here, I wanted to hear from you. Educators have been up against a lot, and it's been a very challenging and trying time. What has personally gotten you through?
You know, it's those moments. It's those moments with those students. It's those students that come to me and say, Mr. FritzMiller, when we were at home, I was depressed, I was anxious, I didn't like school, and now being back in person, that's helping me get through. Those are the moments where I just really I get choked up, I get emotional. I think about how meaningful it is for kids to be in person with peers, with caring adults who are really there to help them through. And so those are the things that help me through those difficult times.
Thank you so much for all you do. And we're going to have a look now at your mascots and tell us who we're seeing here.
Yes, so this is Baron von Bobcat. He is the Bobcat mascot, and he's with us all the time to help us celebrate, to help us through parent gatherings, student gatherings, pep rallies, and all the fun things that we do.
Bring in some joy.
Yes, absolutely.
I love it. And you are accepting applications now for the next school year.
Correct, we are. So if you go to enrollbasis.com, you can apply to whatever BASIS school is close by. We have schools in Chandler, Mesa, Phoenix, Goodyear, Peoria, Flagstaff, Prescott, all over the state. Tucson, don't want to forget Tucson, Oro Valley.
Well, I do want to reiterate too, BASIS is a public school that accepts all students from varying backgrounds. And I personally think that that is something so vital to let the public know.
Yes,
I don't
absolutely.
like a system that's haves and have-nots. So thank you for all the work you're doing. And thanks to all of you for watching. I'm Carey Pena. This is Front Doors TV.